You talked about being ahead of where you were last year, and last year, considering the circumstances, you coming in your first year as the head coach, COVID is going on, and teams aren't allowed to practice as much as they would be, and reschedulings here and there. But you've now had a full year to work with a majority of this group. You've had a full off season to be able to get your fall practices in, some fall games, and have a full off season in the winter as well. How beneficial has all of that been into contributing this team and being more prepared per se than last year, perhaps?
It's been great. I think having a fall where we can compete against other teams has been really important. We opened up with 2 Division I teams, and it was a tough go, but I think we showed that when we play our brand of lacrosse and play to the level that we're capable of, we can hang with those D1 teams, and our goal is to play the best so that we can be the best. So we got everyone some quality looks this fall, and then we scrimmaged last weekend, I guess, against Bucknell. And, we didn't play the way I wanted us to, but I think we got a lot of those jitters out, and now I think we'll be ready to roll. We open up tomorrow. So I think, having all of that time has really helped us develop the girls and give them a chance to see some other opponents and see, where we fall and what we need to work on.
Talking about those opening games, and 2 ranked teams you're going to play against: Davenport, number 25 in the country, and then University of Indianapolis, number 2 in the country, a team that is very well respected. And is it going to be sort of a litmus test for you guys, or is it more of a let's just see where we are compared to these other teams in terms of looking ahead, and should be the 2 toughest games on the schedule this year, but in looking at your own team and where you're standing?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both, obviously seeing how we stack up against 2 ranked opponents, but at the same time, again, if we play the way we're capable of, I think we're pretty much on the same level as Davenport as far as physicality and athleticism. Hopefully, we have a little bit better schemes and plays and stuff, so I think, while that's going to be a test, I think that's a very winnable game, and we're going into it hoping to win. And then Indy, it's going to be a tough game for sure, and I think it can go one of 2 ways. If we play the way I think we can play, we could squeak out with a win, or even have it be like 3 to 5 goal game. But if we don't rise to the occasion, then we're really not going to be happy with the result. But either way, playing these tough teams in the beginning is really going to show us what we're made of, and hopefully set us up for success for the rest of the season. Because if we can beat or compete with these 2 teams, we can beat and compete with anybody.
Talking about the 2 tough teams in the beginning, but the schedule overall is pretty tough for the first part of the year, and only 1 home game between now and April 7th. So, you guys are going to be battle tested essentially on the road, and, only that 1 home game on March 21st. But other than that, you're going to have to go into other teams' territory. They're going to have all their home fans back in their stands and being able to support them. So, it'll be a good test for you guys to have all of those road games and travel that much before the MEC play starts.
Yeah, and I think we're excited for that. Last year, especially with COVID, we weren't able to do any overnight trips except for the conference championships. So that's where our team, I feel like, really bonds, is when we're in the hotel, we're on the bus. So I think that'll be exciting for us, but we also have no problem going to another team's territory and, giving them a beat down. Last year we went to Notre Dame and beat them by 11. So, maybe we're better on the road, who knows? But my hope is that, we're consistent whether we're home or away.
Getting into the specifics of the team now, and a big strength from last year was the attack, and you returned 7 of your top 8 scorers, and Steph King and Anna Kearney, Cammie Schneeden, Lily Stevens, and that's just, to name a few. And obviously there's a lot of depth behind them, freshmen coming in as well. But in that area of the field, it's, with the leadership that's there, and you had juniors and Steph, who's a super senior this year, having that leadership, and you pretty much know what you're going to get out of that unit on any game day.
It's been phenomenal, and I think we're really holding them to a higher standard, and so we're pushing them so that they don't think that they can just do what they did last year and it be okay. I think also on the offensive end, in the midfield, you're going to see a lot of new faces, whether it's freshmen or players who were injured last year. So we're really excited to kind of bring out some of those secret weapons, and we have an awesome group of attackers where, if one of those 4 that you mentioned isn't having a good game, we have some freshmen, sophomores, another senior who can step in and really, take take their spot and not miss a beat.
And then getting into the midfield, sort of the energy units of the team. Lindsay Coleman, another one of the super seniors that's going to be there, and you know what you're going to get out of her any given week. Shelby Brunette and Mara O'Neill, two others that come to mind that, you know, they can play offense and they can go up with the attack, or they can shift back into defense and provide some cover there as well. But, you know, those three, and again, bringing in freshmen and some players from last year, that it's just an energy unit that they can run all game, and they just give an energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, last year we didn't have a ton of middies. So I think, you know, we weren't able to produce as much as we would like to once those middies started getting tired. But you're going to see Cameron Baldwin. She didn't play for us last year. Jordan Kenny was injured last year as well. And they're both coming back full strength. And I really expect them to come in and make an impact. We've got a great freshman in Carrie Hayes. She's played like an upperclassman since she got here. Julia Battalato is doing great. She's also a freshman. Chrissy Milburn, Megan Keller, like all freshmen who, for Frostburg, people don't know their names yet, but by the end of the season, they definitely are going to. And I think having that depth in the midfield is really going to take our game to the next level.
Then the defense for you guys, and Mackenzie Kramer, Emily Chick, Emma Neff, all the three stalwarts, really, you call them, from last year, that all return and in front, protecting the net, and three senior players that you all have been here for a while, but they've been through coaching changes, and then you came in last year and kind of got them into your style of play, and now they've had another full offseason in front of you to be able to get more coaching as well.
And we actually are bringing back Chloe Johnson this year, who didn't play last year. She's a great addition to that unit as well. And we have some awesome freshmen and upperclassmen. Ayanna Mcdonald, she's a junior for us this year. She's really stepped up. Delaney Devers, she came in and again, like Carrie Hayes, came in and was playing like an upperclassman. And our upperclassmen have really, you know, rallied around that and taken her under their wing, and they've given her nicknames and all that fun stuff. So I think, you know, across the board, we have a lot of great leadership in every category, but we also have some awesome underclassmen who are really coming into their own and are gonna, you know, definitely see some playing time and make a difference as well.
Now the youngest unit on the squad in the goalkeeper position, and two sophomores now, Whitney Crosby and Mckenna Shea, who really split time last year, and it was just a matter of who was playing well on their day and could put one in with the confidence of the other one the same. And now you've brought in another couple of freshmen to add competition there, and it's a very young unit, but there's still some leadership in there, and just, you know, a unit that can be so productive on game days and be able to help this team win just as much as every other position we talked about.
Yeah, and I think the awesome part about all of our goalies is they all bring something different to the table. Mckenna is a great communicator, and she's super active. She's going to pick off passes. She's going to go for interceptions. Whitney, she is just solid. She's a very fundamental goalie, and she does a great job. Nicole Gray, coming in as a freshman, she's a ball stopper. I mean, she's stuffing our girls at practice. Cami Schneeden is one of our best attackers, and she gets stuffed every day by Nicole. And she has really come into her own and taken over a little bit of leadership role herself. She doesn't play like a freshman. And then we've got Gracie Dickey, who, she's a gamer. She might not be the most intense player in practice, but you put her in a game. We put her in one of the halves this fall, and she didn't let a single goal in. So I think that's the awesome thing about that unit is, you know, if one of them is having a bad day, we have three other ones that are going to step up and make the plays. So I think there's a lot of competition in that spot, but at the same time, we have a lot of different looks, and we know that, again, if someone's not, you know, hitting the mark, we've got three other people that we can rotate in and figure out, you know, who's going to make the stop.
Getting into the MEC now, and talked a little bit about it earlier with Notre Dame, and in the regular season last year split at each other's places, which each team getting a win, and then Notre Dame kind of taking the cup in the championship game at their own home field. Going into the MEC poll, tied for first place, we were picked with Notre Dame after being picked to sole first place the past 2 years, and that sort of formed into a little bit of a rivalry with your two squads in terms of, you know, two of the best teams in the conference and having close games and just the feistiness there. But, you know, also in behind them, Davis and Elkins and Charleston, a couple of talented teams as well. But looking at that preseason poll, is that sort of a motivation for you guys of, well, we were picked, first place sole the last 2 years, and now Notre Dame is up there with us. Is that now a source of motivation for you guys?
Absolutely. I wish we would have been picked second. I think, last year we were confident, and we should have been, but, I think we peaked at the wrong time, to be honest, and going into that championship game, we just weren't ready. A lot of these girls, the upperclassmen, had never played in a conference championship game. The freshmen and the sophomores lost a year because of COVID. So I just think we weren't mentally ready. And now, the mindset has changed. Last year it was winning is fun, and now this year it's winning is the expectation. And every day someone mentions Notre Dame and how we're gunning for them. And we're not just focusing on them, but I think, having that motivation of like, this team thinks that they're better than us, and we have to prove that we really are the best. So we're definitely motivated. We're definitely hungry, but, we're not overlooking anyone in the conference. I mean, we lost to Charleston last year. So, we played them this fall in a tight game. So we're really trying to do everything that we can, and rise to the occasion. But again, I'm hoping this weekend kind of shows us what we're made of, and, we can feel good as we go through the rest of the season and into conference play.